welcome to our YouTube video. In this content, we will talk about the BC PNP Tech Pilot Program. So, if you are outside Canada and you would want to migrate here and you're part of the tech industry, then this video is for you. In this video, we will provide you with a comprehensive overview of this exciting initiative, its purpose, eligibility requirements or criteria, and the benefit it offers to tech professionals looking to work and settle in British Columbia, Canada. BC PNP Tech program has supported more than 6,000 tech workers outside Canada to be nominated for permanent residence since its launch in May 2017. BC PNP Tech helps ensure BC can continue to attract and retain the talent needed to sustain and grow the technology sector in the province. The main purpose of BC PNP Tech Pilot Program is to address the growing demand for skilled tech workers here in British Columbia, since it is a thriving sector here as of the moment. It aims to attract and retain top talents internationally by providing expedited processing and priority in the provincial nomination process. That's why there's a weekly draw for this sector. Now let's talk about eligibility requirements for this program. The first criteria to be eligible for this program is a valid job offer from a designated employer, which means an employer here in Canada, and in one of the 29 eligible tech occupations, which I will be showing you from the website. So the first thing to do is go to welcomebc.ca website. This is the official website of British Columbia government. Once you have that, you go ahead and click Immigrate to BC and then choose About the BC Provincial Nominee Program. Scroll down a bit and you will see BC PNP Tech Pilot and also the features about the program, which is timeliness, service, prioritization, and engagement. And with the BC PNP Tech Pilot Program, they said that you will have an employer concierge service, which means this is the service that will contact your employer to support the applicant. So they will also be the one checking or doing some background checking related to the job offer that was given to you. With this also, it says here that they have a targeted tech-only draws to ensure that skilled tech applicants are given priority. So that's why there's a weekly draw dedicated for this tech pilot program. And then scroll down a bit, you will see the 29 BC PNP Tech occupations, starting with TER 10030, which is Telecommunication Carriers Manager, and up until 5311, which is related to motion pictures, broadcasting, photography, and performing art assistants and operators. So you have to be very careful with choosing your TER, or previously known as NOC, because they're very particular with these job listings. One of the key requirements in order for you to be eligible for BC PNP Tech is if you apply, you must have a 1-year valid job offer, so at least 1 year, and the job offer must also have at least 120 days remaining at the time of the application to the BC PNP. To get started, you need to make sure that you first know the process. So the process is divided into 3 stages: the registration, the invitation, and the application. At the registration stage, you are not yet required to pay anything, and the only thing you have to do is to go ahead and complete the registration. If you meet the requirements, you can go ahead and complete the registration form. You will be scored depending on this factors. So economic factor, as well as the human capital factors. For economic factor, your score will be dependent on the skill level of your occupation, the wage, which is based on the job offer provided to you by your employer, and the location in BC. So depending on where you are in BC, the score will be higher if you are outside the major cities. So if you are in Victoria or Vancouver, you will not get any points at all. For the human capital factors, your work experience, the education, depending on the WES or any education credential assessment that you have provided, and the language proficiency exam, you will be getting a point based on those things. Basing on this document, the language minimum score is band score 4 or both in CELPIP and in IELTS. Okay, and then for the wage, the minimum income will be depending on the annual wage in BC, the area of residence in BC, as well as the number of dependents. To be qualified, it is highly suggested to make sure that you take the language exam as early as now, so you don't have to wait until you apply for your PR, because the CELPIP or your IELTS score will definitely increase the number of points that you will be getting, and the higher chances for you, or there's a higher chance for you to be invited if your score is high. So again, the registration is free. You will only be asked to pay if you are already invited to apply. But a registration is not yet an application because there's no guarantee that you will be invited. Again, this depends on the score provided to you by the BC PNP online portal. To continue the eligibility for BC PNP Tech Pilot Program, a candidate must also have at least 2 years of full-time work experience in one of the eligible tech occupations in the past 5 years. So it doesn't matter if you have this experience in Canada or outside Canada. The language proficiency, as demonstrated through your language tests such as IELTS or CELPIP, and for express entry, BCPNP through express entry, you must have sufficient funds to support yourself here in British Columbia. So this is in relation to the job offer that was given to you by your employer. And if that salary or base salary given to you can suffice with your with the number of family members that you will be bringing here in Canada, or is that the exact salary or the basic salary given for that specific tech occupation? The next step is to submit an expression of interest. With this, we have to create an online profile through the BCPNP online system. And with this, you have to provide information about your work experience, education, language skills, and other relevant factors. This profile will be assigned a score based on the information that you will be providing. To create a profile, you just go to welcomebc.ca website, click on the Immigrate to BC tab, and you would see all the skills immigration invitations that had happened in the past. And as you can see, the latest invitation happened as of July 11th, 2023, and they have invited 152 applicants. And there are different streams here. So the BC PNP Tech Pilot Program is under the skilled worker stream, and the minimum score that was invited was 106 points. So again, this is depending on the information that you have provided, such as the job offer information with the salary, where you are um, applying here in BC. If you are applying in Vancouver or big cities, normally the score will be very low. But if you're applying to smaller cities, you will get a maximum score of 15 points additional. This also includes the language proficiency score and also the job experiences that you've had in the past related to the priority application related to the BC PNP Tech Pilot Program. And once you have seen all this information, you can go ahead and click on the BC PNP online button on the right hand side. Once you click that, you will then have the opportunity to create a profile. And this registration or profile registration is free. You're not yet going to be paying anything as of this moment. But once you get invited, that's the time that you will have to pay an amount for the application. Once you have successfully created a profile and there's the weekly draw happening, you can go ahead and um, Wait for an email to receive an invitation to apply or the ITA. With this, you have 30 days to complete all the requirements and then submit it to your BC PNP profile portal. You can just upload it because everything is online. Once you have received the ITA or the invitation to apply, you will have a limited amount of time, which is approximately 1 month or 30 days, to submit a complete application. This includes providing all the necessary documentation, such as your educational certificate, employment references, language test results, and more. You'll also have to pay the required application fee, which is 1,150 Canadian dollars as of today. Once you have an invitation to apply, you just have to go back to your BC PNP profile, and then in the dashboard, there should be an apply button. Once you go ahead and click on apply, here are the tabs that you will see. So the applicant's main information, the education, the work experience, the family information. So if you will be bringing your family here in Canada, the job offer information, the name of the employer, how much is your salary, and who is your direct supervisor or manager, and then the attachments for you to upload the documents that you will be submitting. And once you have completed all those documents required, you can now go ahead and click submit. And based on their website, the estimated processing time for your BC PNP nomination is approximately 3 months. But there will be a follow-up email if in case there are missing documents that you have to submit. And here are the fees that you need to take note of. Upon registration, it is free. So this will create a profile for you, and it will also show you how many points you have in total for the BC PNP profile that you created. Once you are invited, there will be an application fee that you have to pay, which is 1,150 Canadian dollars. And if in case there's a refusal and you think there's something that needs to be reviewed, you can actually request for a review for your application, and that's additional of $500. So, but if in case you are able to get the nomination, it's just the $1,150 that you have to pay as a main applicant. The family members are already free. As part of the documents that you have to upload and to submit, here are the list of documents that you have to submit. So the Canadian immigration records, so this includes if you have a temporary work permit, your study permit, if you are a tourist, or if you are asking for an extension application. The bio page of your passport, or the one that has the picture, a current photograph, and there is a required size for this. So you just have to go to the website. BC driver's license. This is only applicable if the job that you're applying requires a BC driver's license. Language test result. This is your CELPIP or your IELTS test report form or TRF. You also have to create an updated resume for the job for the job offer related to the job offer that you submitted, and also an ECA or the educational credential assessment. This is via WES or other educational credential assessment that are available. If your job requires certification, or if this is a regulated job, such as electronics engineering, you may need to require a certificate for that specific job. But for most of the tech jobs, it may not really require for those things. So you can just say no for this. The spousal documentation, this is in relation to the information required, such as if your spouse has a work permit or study permit here in Canada, and if they are working also here in Canada. Here are the list of employer documentation that you also have to submit. So all these requirements will be coming from your employer or from your HR. And the first one is the employer declaration form. This form can be downloaded by the applicant through the BC PNP portal, and then you have to just submit it to your HR. The second one is employer recommendation letter, signed job offer letter, detailed job description. So this is very crucial. You have to make sure that the job description given by your employer matches the NOC or the PEER that you are applying for. The evidence of recruitment. This is a screenshot or any documentation proving that the employer tried finding a Canadian applicant, but they also have posted it through post websites such as LinkedIn, Indeed, or any other website. So they could just get a screenshot of those. This is just to make sure that the priority, of course, is a Canadian applicant, but unfortunately, nobody applied from Canada, so they have to get someone internationally who could do the job. The company information, the certificate of incorporation, and the municipal business license of the company. The BC PNP will review your application to ensure it is complete and meet the program's criteria. If any additional information or documents are required, you will then be notified through your email. And it is very, very important to respond promptly to any request for further information because usually this will make some delays or this will cause some delays if in case there were documents that were missing or possible refusal if in case you were not able to submit the document right away. If your application is approved, you will receive a nomination certificate from the BC PNP through email, and this nomination will enhance your eligibility for a Canadian permanent resident visa. You may also need to complete the federal application through Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship Canada or IRCC website to obtain your permanent resident status if you are applying through Express Entry. If you are doing it with non-Express Entry profile, then you just have to follow the steps written on how to link your email through the IRCC website, which is almost same as creating an Express Entry profile. Once you have successfully been nominated, congratulations, you can now apply for permanent residency, and you will need to apply through the IRCC portal. So the nomination will actually provide you with 600 additional points to your Express Entry profile once you have been nominated. And once your permanent residency has been approved by IRCC, you will be granted Canadian permanent resident status. Congratulations! You can then move to British Columbia and enjoy the benefits of living and working here in the province. And with this, you can also apply for your PR residency card, which is part of the PR application fee. And it is important to note that this is just a simplified overview, and the actual BC PNP application could be depending on the category that you're applying. But for the BC PNP Tech, this has been our experience and the documents that we have received, and the documents that we have submitted to IRCC as well. All right, and to be more accurate, I think to welcome you to the website, or if you do have an immigration professional, a consultant, or a consultant, in order to be updated, so I also highly suggest to also go to IRCC website just to keep posted on whatever information available. Thank you, and this has been a pleasure sharing our experience in the process of applying in BC PNP Tech Pilot Program. We hope this introduction to the BC PNP Tech Pilot Program pathway has provided you with a valuable overview on how to migrate in Canada. Stay tuned for more content or videos on the BC PNP and other immigration pathways or related topics in our videos in the future. And if you have any questions, suggestions, or would you like to get more information or get the checklist that we have provided for the requirements, please feel free to leave a comment below or visit maplelife.com in order for you to download those checklists. Thank you so much and see you in the next video.